With immigration at the heart of the latest partial government shutdown, Democrats are digging in their heels. They want reforms that the White House so far will not concede. I talked with CBS Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane about the stalemate and how it could affect Americans without having any impact on ICE. Scott, how effective will lawmakers be in trying to distance themselves from ICE and ICE facilities? They're on a week-long break now. They may be hearing from voters who don't support ICE tactics.
Democrats are getting close to unanimity on this, where they think that not only is it imperative for them not to support funding ICE at its current levels in its current way, they see that there's no political downside to taking that position, which is a big change from where they were 2 years ago. It's clear to us as we have this partial government shutdown and this standoff over how to fund the U.S. Department of Homeland Security that Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the funding of ICE is the wedge issue that is going to be very difficult to iron out because neither side sees a political imperative in changing where they are.
But Scott, in taking this position, the Democrats want these immigration reforms, and so they're holding out on these budget talks. We're going to have this fractional shutdown, but the shutdown won't actually affect ICE funding. So what's the gain here for the Democrats?
Yeah, to be clear, you're spot on, Lisa. The ICE gets funded either way because there's a separate bill that passed last year to ensure they have the money to continue doing immigration enforcement and raids nationwide. What gets impacted is the TSA, eventually, potentially your airport travel. FEMA, in case there's a disaster somewhere, may have interruptions or a disjointed response because they have funding that's now in question. But this is all a component of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and both sides have found this to be their battle zone over funding Homeland Security. I don't think this issue goes away anytime soon. This could be a chronic standoff through 2026 because neither side seems willing to budge on the issue of immigration, and both seem to think they are politically winning while fighting on this issue.
Well, and nothing, it seems, gets Americans' attention like waiting in really long TSA lines or not being able to access disaster funding if something happens. Where do you think there might be room for negotiation in these discussions over funding Homeland Security and immigration reforms?
When you see those long lines at TSA and you see people having their flight disrupted, members of Congress tend to get the motivation to find some solution. And that doesn't happen tomorrow, it doesn't happen Sunday, but there can be interruptions to TSA in the short term if they have to work without pay. Some just won't come, some will find new jobs. What's the breakthrough issue? They got to figure out where to be on masking. Should all federal agents be masked? Democrats say no. Trump supporters say yes. They're going to have to iron that out. Also, just what should be the protocol for federal searches for executing warrants? Should they be warrantless searching allowed in immigration cases? They got to figure that out, too, among the top line issues they've got to iron out to get this thing back on the tracks.
No small job. Scott MacFarlane, CBS's Justice correspondent, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Lisa.